There was a lot of time and care put into developing some pretty detailed animation bibles or style guides to make sure that every animator in all of the facilities was aware of the movement style for each of the characters. Stylistically, the sort of creative mandate for this film was to have the Jaegers move faster than they had in the original Pacific Rim. The previs that we had received had them going really fast. So we were given a lot of sort of creative license by the studio to be able to do the previs and honor the choreography of the previs, but at the same time have enough latitude to be able to make the creatures move a little bit slower than what was represented in the previs. There was a lot of work put into pitching ideas to Stephen DeKnight, the director of the film, with regards to how each character could move. Obviously, Pacific Rim 1 was a massive inspiration for us, and it was a super critical source of a video reference for us as we went into this project. Stage 1 was blocking, which was basically either incorporating the motion capture for a performance or keyframed animation in the case of the kaiju, and showing Stephen the general performance of the shot. So all of the relevant poses and making sure that the staging was correct, that the camera was working. From that, we would get a blocking approval. Obviously, it wasn't always that smooth. There would be some back and forth, and we would adapt to notes, and eventually we would show for final animation, where all of the sort of first passes of the subsequent departments in the pipeline would be incorporated into that submission. So in many cases, because we've got so many hero shots with massive amounts of city destruction, we wanted to make sure that the animation was incorporated into first passes of effects, simulations that were relevant to tell the story of the shot, and we would also have first passes of lighting. Ideally, then we would get a final animation approval, and we would move on from there. One of the highlights is probably the Mega Kaiju transformation. It was like one of those sequences where it was so huge and so technical on so many levels that it was very difficult to figure out kind of how to approach it. But this was something different. This was about kind of shape, really about abstraction of form, and that required lighting to obviously help us create the look and effect of the animation that we needed as well. For me, any of the shots in the film that feature the drone kaiju are my favorite. It's the only character in both films, really, where it's a kaiju Jaeger hybrid. And so it was really interesting for us to try and understand how that moves. It was really important for us to find the right candidates for the motion capture performers for each character. Really in the same way that a director needs to find the right actors for a role in any film. And we wanted people that fulfilled the physical capabilities of these characters. So we were looking for actors that could fight. That was probably one of the most important things, was they needed to have not only a broad range of experience with fighting styles from boxing to martial arts, but they also needed to be very athletic. Probably the biggest example of that is the fighting between Gypsy and Obsidian. Gypsy, as had been designed by Guillermo del Toro in Pacific Rim 1, is very much the John Wayne of Jaegers. He's a cowboy, and he's a barroom brawler. He's a guy that, headbutts you rather than, does some sneaky martial arts thing. Whereas Obsidian is the opposite. He's very much designed like a samurai, like a ninja. He's much sleeker. And so our motion capture actors were skilled in those two very different styles of movement. And it was by working with them that we were able to develop fight choreography that really, I think, honored the styles of those two Jaegers and gave us some pretty cool results.